this is an election year. It's hard to know if President Obama will prevail or if the Republicans will come into the White House. But either way, do you see a certain amount of continuity on the foreign policy front, even if the Republicans attain the White House?
It's a very interesting question. I can see a discontinuity with the new Secretary of State under the Obama administration, to be frank about it. I think there could be a fundamental discontinuity if a Republican administration were to come in. Now, it would depend, obviously, who that person would be. But if you look at some of the people that have been advising some of the candidates, there are a lot of people who were advising people in the previous Bush administration who I think fundamentally disagree with some of the direction in which U.S. foreign policy has moved. There's been a lot of criticism about a so-called precipitous departure from Iraq, a so-called abandoning of Afghanistan, and a lot of these people are very critical of the administration's moves on that. They're critical of the administration's tempering its approach to detention and treatment of detainees. And so it would not surprise me if there were an effort to go back to some of the previous policies of the Bush administration. I don't know exactly what that would mean, and there would be constraints, nonetheless, that would be exercised. But I actually think if there were a new administration to come in, it would be a movement that would be one not of continuity with what we currently see. But I don't know, Carol may have another view on that.
I'm impressed over the longer term with the continuities in U.S. policies. Even though new administrations come in and say, well, before the administration even arrives, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. There's especially, if I could say, loose talk in political campaigns about we're going to confront this country, we're going to bomb that country. And then I think when people get into office, they often learn very quickly, or maybe they knew already, that the costs of some of their policies, their new policies, could be very high to the United States. And so even the Obama administration has found this when it has talked about getting rid of Guantanamo, for example. This is in Tony's area of expertise. It hasn't been able to do so. And it's often because of sometimes the external costs and sometimes internal political pressures. The Bush administration came in, I think, wanting to challenge China and did it a little bit, but then backed off. And partly that was because of the eruption of problems in the Middle East, in Iraq and Afghanistan. But, you know, again, we're living in a world of constraints, and some of them are real and some of them are political, which are also real. And I think a new administration could come in with lots of intentions to change things and not find it easy to do so.